Wonderfully Created, welcome back to Created I Am. Today I'm going to show you how to make a hand muff hand warmer. If you like this and you want to see how to make a hand muff that's also a purse or a bag, let me know in the comments. We'll see about doing a tutorial. You want to get a piece of elastic that's about 15 to 20 centimeters long. Depending on its elasticity, it should fit around your wrist, your hand, and should be long enough to stretch on your fabric. You want your basic sewing tools, and then you want your material. Your material that's on the outside should be about 90 centimeters long and 35 centimeters wide. You can decrease the 90 centimeters measurement if you don't want yours to be as long as mine. Most of the muffs I've seen online or in the shop are not as long as mine, so you can shrink yours down to about 70-60 centimeters. But why not have maximum length for maximum warmth? You also want some batting. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4 layers, as much as you want, depending on the warmth you want. You want your batting to be about 41 centimeters long and about 31 centimeters wide, so that it's just a bit smaller than half your material. You should have that space border all the way around. Mark on your midpoint on your material on the wrong side and then open it up. Marking the midpoint will just help make sure you don't sew past it. Take your batting and sew it onto one half of your material on the wrong side. If you want, you can pin it in place before you sew it, just to make sure it doesn't move. Once you've sewn around the rectangle, you also want to sew inside. You can do crisscross, you can do lines. I just did 3 lines. This will help keep the batting in place, especially if you're washing this and you want this to last a bit longer. The more lines you add, the more stay it will have. I'm just going to add 2 simple lines. Once you've done, open up your material. We're going to attach the elastic. You're going to attach the elastic onto your material, but you're going to make sure you still have about 1 to 2 centimeters seam allowance without any elastic or batting on. You're going to sew it onto your material using a zigzag. So once you've secured it at the top, you're going to stretch it so the halfway point of your elastic is on the halfway point of the width. Then you're going to zigzag it down. Then you're going to stretch it again to the end and continue sewing. Do make sure if you're using this method of stretching it whilst you're sewing, your needle is in the material whilst you stretch. So secure your fabric in place, make sure your needle is down, stretch it to the end, and then zigzag it in place, making sure you're allowing about 1 centimeter allowance between that and the midpoint you marked before. Yours should now look something like this. So take your material and put it right sides together. Connect it at the ends. Stretch it so that it's the full length. You're going to just do a straight stitch down this 1 centimeter allowance you allowed. Don't sew on the elastic, sew on the actual material, just 1 straight line straight down, and then that's it. It's secured in place. Now you can take the material and turn it the right way, and all that's left to do is to seal the muff. You may not be grabbing any batting because we made the batting slightly smaller, so you should just be grabbing 4 pieces of material. Just simply use a straight stitch to sew all the way down, giving yourself about 1 centimeter seam allowance. To finish it off, grab some ribbon or bias tape and use that to fold over that seam. I finished my ends of the ribbon before I did this, but you don't have to. You can kind of just use the technique I'm using without finishing the ends first. Sew in place, try and get a colour that's close to your material, and there you go, you've done. You've made a hand muff that is cute and stylish. If you want to see how to make this poncho that I'm pairing it with, take a look at my past videos. And if you're thinking, but what if I'm holding my purse or my phone, am I meant to just hold it in the muff? You could, or you can make your puff a purse or pouch or bag. I saw this in a shop and I thought I could do this. So if you'd like to see how to do something like that, drop a comment below. But of course, more importantly, I hope you know and remember that you are wonderfully created.